Turn up to this one, Worcester Bosch 30SI combi boiler. No heating, no hot water. The boiler's just a fast flash on the front. Right, so I'm going to look at the GC number, and then I'm going to whip out Partsarena, type in the GC number, and we're going to locate the model, which was a 30SI. The great thing about this app is you don't actually need internet to find the parts. Go on installation instructions, go down to fault finding, then we've got the fault finding table there. Go down to fast flash, reset button was off, volatile lockout, and then it will tell us what we need to test. So it says check between live and neutral, which is purple and brown, but then if we scroll down a little bit more, it'll actually show us the wiring diagram again. So live is purple, neutral is brown, so we're going to test between those two. First thing we're going to do is whip the case off. There's the fan. Be careful when you pull that plug off, it is brittle. So we're going to put our probe safely in to purple and brown. We're getting 240 to the fan. Fan wasn't running, so we know the fan's gone. So if we look at Partsarena again, we can now locate the part number that we need and the fan we need. So there's two, so you have to go on the FD code. Here's the chart to locate the boiler that we want. So this boiler is 2008, so we scroll down to the fan. That one says after 2007, so we want 443. I carry these on the van, and I'm going to change electrodes in the gas tube as well. Good practice. As you can see, this is the old gas tube anyway. It's ribbed and they always tend to split. 13mm ratchet spanner to undo the nut off the top. My spark plug electrode removal tool to pull that out. One-handed, literally just spin that out and pull it out. As soon as I removed this, I could hear it, and the propellers for the fan have literally just smashed apart and they're all inside there. This is probably the worst one I've ever seen. There's literally just like debris of the fan everywhere. So I recently ordered this off Amazon the other day, but it's literally amazing. It makes it so easy. You don't rip the protective cover around the spark electrodes, the flame rectification, nothing. It's literally as simple as that. I won't go into too much detail about swapping these over, but undo the 3 screws, pop that over. When I did take this apart though, I did notice inside that the bearing plate was all split. So see how one half's gone, the other half's probably in the fan somewhere. So I'm going to change that over, put a new bearing plate on. You can see how that fan just doesn't even spin, it's in pieces. Literally, I don't know what happened in there. So new bearing plate, there's the part number if you ever need one. I think it's down as membrane if you're looking for it, but again you'd find it on Partsarena. You can see all that inside, so I'm going to take some time just to clear all that out. You don't want any of that in there. You can see how bad condition that fan is though, to be fair. Can't really get the light right, but the propellers are literally in pieces. Like, it's crazy. So here's the ribbed gas tube. You can see that they tend to start splitting there, and you don't want any of that business going on. So we'll get that gone, put a new one on. We're going to flip reverse it and put the fan back in. It's easy as that. Turn the power on. No flashing light this time. Turn the preheat off so that the boiler fires. We've got ignition. Happy days. Because we've done gas works, we need to do our 26.9s. I always check the brand new gasket I've put in anyway. That'll also check the flue seals and the sump. Sometimes you'll get to this point where you can't get your probing because the installer just didn't care about the service engineer. So we've got a handy little gadget for that. Whip it out the service bag. Little angled probe. Still got a couple of those if anybody wants one. Drop me a message, just pops on there. And then pops in there. These are an absolute lifesaver sometimes. There we go. Fits in there nicely. So while I was admiring the angled probe tool, I could hear water trickling, but the pressure said it was alright. So I'm going to use my Erickhill Rook 600, and I'm going to check the temperature of the cold pipe, which is 16, and then the PRV is quite a bit hotter. It goes up to about 20, 21 degrees. So that's showing that the PRV's passing. So I didn't even have to get a spanner out, just whip that infrared camera out, and that proved that. So we'll get that sorted at a later date.